Skip logic rules enable participants to skip over following questions based on how they respond to a previous question. For a content and questions survey, you must have at least 3 steps, if not more. This is so participants can answer questions on step 1, skip over questions on step 2, and proceed to the following questions on step 3. And the skip logic rule needs to be the last thing on the page. To add a skip logic rule, we'll click Add Question and go to Skip Logic Rule at the bottom. Select No for Do you have military experience? Then we're going to find the Do you own a house question and add that as well. Clicking Save Skip Logic saves our rule. Place the question that the skip logic rule affects directly above the skip logic rule. There should be no other questions following the skip logic rule.
In this example, we have multiple steps, steps 1 through 6. And our last question on this step is, do you have military experience? And then the skip logic is directly after that question. If the participant answers no to the do you have military experience question, they will be skipped to do you own a house? Let's look at what that looks like on this project. If we go to step 2, we will see that it is about which branch of the military the individual served in, and are they currently enlisted. Step 3 is the do you own a house question. So again, on step 1, the do you have military experience question, if the participant answers no, they'll be skipped to the do you own a house question, which is the first question on step 3. In other words, the participant would jump over all of the military questions that are on step 2. Here are the questions on step 3. And then let's move forward to step 4. Do you already know how to use skip logic? And then we have the skip logic after that question of if participant selects yes, skip to the question, thanks for participating. So here's another skip logic. Here is our trigger question that will trigger the skip logic to activate. If the participant answers yes, then they'll be skipped to the thanks participating question. That exists on step 6. If we go back to step 4 and say, do you already know how to use skip logic? If the participant answers, I think so, or no, they will go to step 5, in which they will answer other questions on this project. And again, once individuals who are on step 5 answer all these questions, they will also be taken to step 6 to end the survey. Let's see what this looks like in real life. And now I'm going to show you what the survey looks like when I answer the questions to activate skip logic. Are you a U.S. citizen? Reside in the U.S.? I'm going to say I do not have military experience and click continue. You'll note that I have jumped over step 2 that has the military questions, and now I'm on step 3. I've answered these questions, click and continue. For the do you already know how to use skip logic, I'm going to say yes, which will activate the skip logic. I have jumped over step 5, and now I'm on step 6. So that is a demonstration of how to use skip logic. Again, for a content and question project format, you want to have at least 3 steps so that the participants can skip over at least one step to get to questions on the last step or the next step. You want to make sure that the question that you are skipping from, or the question that triggers the skip logic, is the last question in the step. And no other questions can be below the question that triggers the skip logic. So in other words, it has to be the last one. The new question also must be at least 2 steps away. So the next question that the participant is skipped to cannot be on the next step. So you cannot have a skip logic on step 1 that would skip someone to step 2, because anyone who answers the questions anyway would go to step 2. It has to at least go to step 3. So also if you have a skip logic that's on step 3, the question that the participant should be skipped to should be on step 5. It cannot be on step 4 because anyone on step 3 would naturally go to step 4.
In this question with 4 possible answers, there are 3 skip logic rules. In this case, different answer options will take the participant to a different question on a following step based on their response. Here we have 5 different steps, the 5th step being the end of the survey. Each answer is color-coded to match the question they will advance to when they select this answer. Here we have option A, which advances to step 2, so you do not need skip logic for one of the answers. Option B, the skip logic will advance you to question 3. Option C will advance the participant to question 4. And option no preference at the bottom will advance the user to the end of the survey and thank them for their participation. We also have skip logic on step 2 and 3. Since these folks wouldn't be answering questions about option B or C since they chose option A, they would advance to the end of the survey after selecting their preference here. Each of these answers has its own skip logic rule to skip the participant to question 5 on step 5, ending the survey with a confirmation message. And on step 4, we have no skip logic because step 4 naturally progresses to step 5 as any normal survey would.